Chelsea Football Club have a new manager, and Enzo Maresca has taught us 5 new things that we didn't know about him, but we do now after the first 30 days have finished. The reality is, when a new manager comes in, a lot of us are uncertain and are worried. But in this case, we knew absolutely nothing. We knew he had 1 season at Leicester, and now we have 5 key takeaways that I'm going to break down, and I am going to say I am pleasantly surprised with what we've seen so far and his assertiveness. So let's get into it. Let's break it down. Let's get into the little details. 5 key things you need to know about Enzo Maresca since he's taken over at Chelsea. But before we get started, I need you lot to hit the like button because 1,000 likes go a long way. Secondly, if you like Chelsea related and football related content, make sure you subscribe here because I'm going to be delivering that. And more importantly, start sharing this out with your friends and family. It's the best way for the channel to grow and for us to build a great community. Let's get started. The first key thing I took away from it is the man's brave. And you're going to say, how is he brave, Alex? What has he shown us that he's brave? Did he jump out of the 15th floor to save somebody? No, he's not Tom Cruise. But what Enzo Maresca is somebody that's got principles, and evidently he's sticking by him. You've seen this by the fact that Ben Chilwell has got a bit part role in this team. How difficult is it to walk into a dressing room when you've got 1 year's worth of experience and all of a sudden you have somebody who doesn't suit your system, doesn't suit your tactics, yet is the vice captain of the club, and you basically tell him, well, you don't suit the system. And how have we shown it wasn't publicly disrespecting Ben Chilwell, it wasn't humiliating Ben Chilwell, it was with slight hints. In an interview when they asked him about his fullbacks, he mentioned Gusto, he mentioned James, he mentioned Vega, and he mentioned Cucurella, that they can do the role. Then he gave Ben Chilwell an opportunity to play in the back 3. Ben Chilwell didn't take it. After that, he's slowly been bringing Ben Chilwell's name up, but he's clearly making it evident for everyone to see, as well as Ben Chilwell, dude, technically you're not good enough to play in this system. For me, I think this is going to be imperative going forward, not only for now but for the rest of his tenure. As long as you make decisions and stand by them and are fully ready to accept the consequences, this is a trait that I want in my manager, and for me, I really like it so far. It took Enzo Maresca 2 training sessions, I guarantee you, at most, to realize that the keepers that we have within the club are not good enough. Prior to the window, what did we hear? Prior to the transfer window for Chelsea Football Club, we heard Chelsea are looking for a centre-back, a left-back, a striker, a winger. They were saying how goalkeeper, not in the agenda. What has happened? He has had a few training sessions and he straight away said, we needed you goalkeeper. And what have Chelsea done? They went and got him Philippe Jurgensen, somebody that has the attributes to play in an Enzo Maresca system, and we will find out what's going to happen in the long term. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about Philippe Jurgensen as if I'm sort of an expert. I'm not. I find it very difficult to talk about goalkeepers from a positional sense, purely based on the fact that I've never played the role. I don't know what goes into it, and more importantly, I think it's one of the most technical positions out of all of them in the football, and I'm not going to be able to give it the satisfaction nor the credence by talking about it in the vital detail. But Enzo Maresca clearly made a decision on Robert Sanchez, and this might be confirmation bias, but he made a brilliant one, because I've been saying Sanchez is not good for a while. Furthermore, Petrovic is going to be going out on loan or leaving the club. This most probably is a decision above him. However, and this is the key stance, the decision got made early and the decision is here to stay. For me, this is perfect. The third key thing I've learned from him, he's not too stubborn. Now, let me explain to you, right? What he said at the outset was Reece James can play in the midfield. Gusto can play in the midfield. And what we saw from James was he was being wasted, and that James could actually be a very good right centre half. And we've been saying this for years. After 2 games where Chelsea got humiliated against Celtic on the scoreline, maybe not in terms of like the overall performance, what he did was he went and changed it. Reece James now is playing as a right centre half. Malo Gusto is playing as a left back that cuts in, and all of a sudden playing next to Romeo Lavia, and we look like we've hit some sort of a jackpot. So for me, the lack of stubbornness is amazing, because this actually paves the way that something's not working, I'm going to change it. And for me, like, that is imperative. We've had a manager in the past that waited far too long, waited till April, and in essence lost his job for it, because he refused to adjust with the times and adjust with the tactics. We're losing game. Pochettino didn't opt to make the changes. Now, when you actually focus on it, what has Enzo Maresca already altered? Well, initially, our back 3 were very wide. and the goalkeeper was forming the back four. Now, the three centre-halves are tighter, the two midfielders are tighter, the wingers are wider, and then the two attacking midfielders are spread as well. So we're almost in a very compact position in the middle when we lose the ball, but we have different avenues to attack and players are isolating others. This shows me he's on the fly, changing things, evolving his tactics, and this is the type of manager I would want to play for personally myself, but more importantly, I want one in charge of the club that I support. I don't know, maybe I'm being very complimentary, maybe I'm giving him praise for little things, but it's things like this that go the distance, and him noticing stuff that, for example, us fans are noticing early, and he's changing it straight away. I love it. Honestly, I really do. So far, my favorite thing is the fourth one, right? He's thinking outside of the box, and he's also making the basic decisions that other managers don't. What do I mean by this? Christopher Nkunku's playing as an 8. This is outside of the box. This is different. I know Nkunku's played there for PSG, if I'm not mistaken, but the best success Christopher Nkunku's had is off the striker. He's basically played like a second number 9, and then he played in a Christmas tree formation with 3 at the back, where he was at the tip and he was scoring the goals. So the reality is, to put Christopher Nkunku in the 8, in behind Mark Guiu, and then have 2 out-and-out fullbacks, this is a good team. This is brave. This is courageous. This is what we want to see. More attacking players. The first team's moving me. Like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, yo, we are actually being a team that is on the offensive rather than the defensive. And we're going to take the games to teams rather than wait and react. This is a proactive approach. This is something that we don't have. Furthermore, he likes wingers, and I love that. I love isolating the defender with a winger and let the winger run at him. Go to the left, go to the right. And you know what? A lot of people are going to say, oh, Noni's not been good, Raheem's not been good, Mudrik's not been good. We need to get better and we need better players in those positions. What I think people don't take into consideration, and I think Enzo Maresca most probably knows this as well, people watch too many highlight reels. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. I think people watch highlight reels, and in highlight reels, the winger beats the defender all the time, right? But if you actually watch a game consistently and watch 90 minutes of games, every dribble doesn't come to fruition and is not successful. Sometimes there are instances where the defender does his job in defense. I remember going back to the Euros that just happened, there was a game where Leao in the first half had a very good game. I went on Twitter, I checked it, people were saying Leao's having a stinker. Why? Because he lost 2 or 3 duels. The reality is he took on like 6 or 7 dribbles against one player, one-on-one. He won 5 of them, or if it was 8, he won like 5 and lost 3. But yet in people's eyes, that means he's had an unsuccessful tenure. So for me, I think we need to adjust the way we assess our wingers. I think Noni is getting past players very well. I just think he needs to learn to cross the ball. And once he does that, we are going to be cooking with oil. Like, genuinely, we are going to be cooking. It's going to be sizzling. It's going to be brilliant. Raheem Sterling looks like he's going to excel in this system. I don't know about Mikhailo Mudryk. I need to see a little bit more. But overall, I just like how courageous and how simplistic he's making it for our attackers. There's automations in place where how we move the ball to isolate the winger one-on-one. There's fluidity in the 8. Honestly, it's absolutely marvelous to watch. The final thing that I really like, and a lot of people are going to say, well, this isn't football related. I like the communication aspect of it. And this is important, right? When you manage Chelsea Football Club, I believe there's an element of off the pitch that you need to be able to communicate in a professional manner. You need to be able to make a statement, and you need to be able to make people listen to you. After games, evidently, this man knows what he's talking about, because he sits there and he gives you reasons to why we were opened up. He gives you reasons to why we're doing well. He gives you reasons for his principle. That is brilliant. However, in his short tenure, he's already had to deal with almost, I'm going to call it a scandal, because it is a scandal. One of our Chelsea players was on a camera in an incident that was absolutely disgusting in my opinion. And it got to the point now where he had to talk about it within his first week. And for me, he handled it very well. It is very difficult for, I think, football managers to talk on sensitive situations as if they are trained professionals on that situation. You need to remember, this is a football manager. This is not the highest public speaker. This is not somebody that's used to talking on sensitive conversations and selecting words carefully, especially in the era that we live in, where everything you say, people will take the transcript, read every single word, and then go, oops, you said you used this word. What do you mean by this word? And everything is microanalyzed. So the fact that he stood up there, he was so well spoken, and the way he handled the media, That's a positive in my eyes. But that's just personally my things. Those are the 5 key things I've taken away. Now what I'm going to tell you guys is there's been a lot of new Chelsea news and a lot of Chelsea transfer news. If you guys want to take my views on what's going on with Conor Gallagher, over here I break it down for you in a brilliant way. A lot of you might not like it because apparently it's a controversial take. Furthermore, if you don't want to know what's going on with the Victor Osimhen potentially to Chelsea move, it is explained over here. So let me know your thoughts. Peace out, I'm out. See you on the other side because you're obviously going to be clicking one of the end screens. Bye.